If you're white, of European descent, and your government hates you, let's take a look why. So I got this really cool confidential briefing report from the Government of Canada's Strategic Demographic Transition Outlook. Try saying that fast 3 times. Date February 2006. Classified level, internal policy eyes only. Now, so what I did was I got a lot of this, I got this policy or what's going on with this, and then I got other stuff I added to it, kind of go back into the past and into the future, and what this policy outlook dated February 2006 really means. Projected demographic and economic shift of Canada from 2006 to 2050. Focus: European demographic decline, ethnic redistribution of labor and influence. And basically what they want to do is they want to get rid of the people that built the country. So the original European descent that built this country, the Irish, the Portuguese, the Italians, the Greeks, that actually came here and built the damn thing, are basically being shown the door or being replaced. Executive summary. Canada's long-term demographic projections necessitate strategic immigration and labor restructuring due to the decline of birth rates among Euro-Canadian populations and increased global economic integration. Canada must implement policies to secure future economic viability, urban development, and bureaucratic consistency. Wow. This report outlines a multi-phase framework to shift population influence and labor allocation, relying heavily on immigration from the People's Republic of China, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Now it goes into its projection by 2050. By 2050, the goal is a post-European Canada where labor, bureaucracy, finance, and construction are managed predominantly by new Canadian cohorts better suited to a globalized economy. What the hell does that even mean? Basically, get rid of whitey or European, right? Phase 1, 1993 to 2006. Remember, this report is from February 2006. Laying the foundation, key actions. So basically, this goes back to what we told you about how Canada closed immigration from Europeans in 1993, right? It was very hard after 93 to come into Canada if you were from a European descendant country or you're Christian, okay? 1994, Immigration and Refugee Protection Act revisions began discussions of economic class priority. And they're focusing on refusing Christian and Catholic applications. 1996-2003, Canadian Multiculturalism Act, strengthened through expanded federal funding, emphasizes on protecting minority cultural identity, right? So the people that are coming in to replace you need to be protected. 1998, federal push for visible minority advancement in civil service hiring. Quotes, Treasury and Board of Canada and government jobs. Observation. Declining fertility among European Canadian populations, particularly in British Columbia and the Maritimes, via affordability. So basically they're using affordability as a weapon to basically shut down the Europeans or white expansion, right? Citizenship and Immigration Canada, CIC, reports from 2000 show a shift in favor unskilled immigration from Asia, particularly from China and India. Oh, that's great, eh? Just bring in the unskilled people. Bring in the people who are going to rip you off blind, right? And that's the intent, right? Phase 2, 2006 to 2020. Institutional transformation strategic goals. Financial and bureaucratic sector realignment. So this is what they're predicting for phase 2, right? Chinese immigrants viewed as culturally inclined towards non-physical labor with higher rates of post-secondary education are encouraged through federal skilled worker program, revamped in 2002, expanded in 2006. So they're laying the groundwork for the foreign takeover, right? Come and build the country. We build the country, and then throw us out. Political nominee programs with financial sector targeting nobility, Ontario and BC. Notably, Ontario, BC. Sorry. Foreign credential recognition program funded to support rapid inclusion in finance and government sectors. So you go to a bank, you don't see anybody that's of Canadian descent or European working there anymore. Infrastructure and technical labor transition. Indian and Hindu immigrants prioritized through 2009. So this is what they're projecting. Canada and India joint study on bilateral trade, laying groundwork for skilled labor immigration. So they cut off the Portuguese, the Italians, and the everyone else that came in the 90s and 2000s, or the 90s and the 80s and 70s, right? Temporary foreign worker program expansion from 2002 to 2011 emphasized construction labor and infrastructure development. But here's the problem. If they didn't build it, they can't fix it. And if they can't build their own countries where they're from, what are they going to come here and do, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? European decline, 2006 to 2015. CBC, now this is some other information I found to back up what this document is saying. From 2006 to 2015, CBC and Statistics Canada shift language and demographic reports downplaying founding people. The founding people are the ones that actually built the highways to get you to your work, right? In favor of inclusive Canadian identity. So they're pushing for inclusive Canadian identity. European migrants face increasing immigration barriers. Example, visa requirements for Eastern and Western European nations, while fast-tracking China and India. Remember that video we made 10 years ago? Canada wants more Chinese. 500,000 per year. And that was what, in 2014? Statistics and indicators confirmed through 2019 Chinese Canadians in finance. From 2006 to 2016, representation of Chinese Canadians in major urban finance hubs, Toronto and Vancouver, increased by 40%. Okay. TD, and BMO internal diversity reports, FOI Access, confirm internal mentorship programs geared towards Mandarin-speaking talent. And Indian Canadians and infrastructure. So again, guys, I dug this up post the 2006 report so you guys could see how it's playing out. Over 41% of new construction firm startups in Ontario, Alberta were Indian-owned. Source Industry Canada Startup Registry. Infrastructure Canada launched the Skilled Migrant Development Fund in 2011 to support language training and certifications. Usage data shows 63% Indian applicants. European Canadian birth decline. From 1996 to 2016, Euro-Canadian birth fell from 1.6% to 1.3%, StatsCan 2017 fertility rate report. In 2001, 89% of rural towns reported migration loss of under 40 Euro-Canadians. So now I'm backing up what this 2006 report was pushing. Now, let's go back to the policy outlook from the report. From 2020 to 2050. White European Canadian population drops below 10% by 2036. That's the goal. And urban centers, Vancouver, Toronto, expected to be majority Asian origin administrative zones by 2030. By 2040, European-descended Canadians projected to be underrepresented in federal civil service below 2%, major banks hiring tracks below 2%, government, federal, municipal, and provincial jobs below 2%, and in political office representation below 2%, urban housing ownership projected 35% drop since 2008. Recommended actions. So this is what they're recommending. Continue promoting inclusive hiring. Language while reducing use of Algo-French foundational culture. References in official documents. Expand diaspora-based economic immigration models, especially from CCP-approved Chinese provinces and India tech hubs. Monitor and manage rural dissidents through media framing and funding programs that emphasize multicultural progress narratives. Implement federally subsidized wages for non-European applicants to support small businesses. Assist in election support for minorities, so fixing elections. And Canada's Sustainability Report 2030 report, what they're hoping for, 2030 report, 50% Chinese, 30% India/Hindu, 10% African, and 10% other. So that's the Canada Sustainability Migration Report. So that's what they're hoping to obtain by 2030, according to what I've been pulling up and finding out. But this Government of Canada Strategic Demographic Transition Outlook from February 2006 is really interesting because they are planning the future. See, the Europeans left Europe via persecution, most of it religious and other forms, right? And they left. They said, okay, let's go west and just start building the West. The Portuguese went to Brazil. The Spanish went to Central America. The English went to North America. And everyone just kind of built their way, founded by the Ten Commandments and Christian principles. Now, Canada, I don't want to speak for America because I was just there and it seemed pretty in line from what I saw. Go watch my videos. But Canada is really pushing hard to remove the Canadian proper, the European expansion that built this country. Right? So, I don't know, guys. What do I know? I don't know much of anything. And I actually look forward to reading your comments below. That's why I make these videos. Let's get into discussion and figure out, where do we go when we're shown the door? Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.